Hello there, beautiful goddesses of your reality. Welcome back. This is Manifest with Jenny T. Please like, subscribe, and click the little bell icon so when I upload videos, they come straight to you. So the formalities out the way. I want to talk to you about something that is very relevant to me at the moment. And it's something that I'm still moving through the moments with. So it's been intellectualized, and now I am moving into that new version of myself and fully embodying what I'm going to talk about now. Now, I could go off with it's basically me being a container for oneself, containment, and what my understanding is thus far. And I could go off about containment with a masculine within my life and what I require from a masculine outsourced. And what I want to say to you, if it doesn't sound too encryptive, is that I'm definitely incorporating containment as a way of bringing me back to my femininity. Not to harden myself in any sort of way, not to burn my bras and say that, I'm standing up for women in a, I would say, derogatory way, being more masculine. I definitely have a strong masculine within me anyway because of my own experiences. But this is where the work is, and this is why I have undertook this journey to bring me back to my full femininity. And of course, that has a healthy masculine side. But what I don't want to do going forward, and what I have to sort of make you aware of, and how my masculine side hasn't worked for me before, is that it's been quite destructive for me. Well, in the sense that it hasn't been destructive because that's my feminine, but I haven't had the containment, right? And this is what I'm learning. And so all feminine, all passion, all fire without containment means that I'm firing on all cylinders. I'm all passion but no structure. And this is why it's important for you to understand the masculine within us as a female is our anchor. So in effect, as a visual, it's the lighthouse, it's the anchor, it's the point that doesn't move, it's the security, and it's the structure. And so within my life, I haven't had a problem with passion and expression. That's come very easy to Jen to express. But however, I haven't had the anchor to the sort of slow down button and the the guidance, the structure within me. But it's there now, and it's present, and it's something that, because I understand it now, it's definitely an interesting topic for me, and one that of course I want to bring to you. Now, like I said, I could go off because with the law of assumption and manifestation, I do understand that manifesting one's SP, one's love, outside of this meat suit that we're in, right? To have those beautiful moments with a love is it's beautiful. It should be looked at as beautiful, and it should be honored. But there's a way of understanding these things, so it brings you back to self, so you can fully sit with self. And then when you identify within self the pieces, the puzzle pieces, then when you slot them in with self, then you change, no one to change but self, and then outside changes. So in essence, it's you're being the lighthouse. Maybe we'll use it as the masculine, you'll be in the lighthouse, and the room is rearranging around you. And this is manifestation. But I could go on, and I will talk about a masculine that's outside of oneself, and what as a feminine we need as that container. But for today, because it's more important, particularly to me, for you to understand as a female that before we get that, we need to get it within here. Now, I've talked to you about safety in my other videos, and for females, for females specifically, we really need that safety. We really need that structure. Hence, this is why we source it outside of ourselves, because we haven't got the necessarily, unless you take on this journey, we haven't got the foresight and the capacity to understand these things, that we can provide the masculine and feminine within us. But however, it doesn't stop us for wanting to outsource that, and that's the difference. And I, for one, I'm still working this out within my own 3D, where I use my own container, and then I have my external container, my love, my one, my SP that I choose. But I totally understand that what I used to do was I used to use masculines outside of oneself, my own energy, to when I was dysregulated, I would use that as a source of regulation through getting validation, right? So, and I'm not poo-pooing where you are on your journey. If you're a female that's dysregulated a lot because you don't feel safe, and you're outsourcing, wanting to get validation from a masculine in that way, I want you to take off the guilt. Stop feeling guilty. Don't feel guilty because you somehow perceive that everybody else has nailed this. Right? This is the way that I used to do it, and how I'm understanding that that's not that old version of Jen is gone. But I always want to give you the knowledge so you can move on to the next version of yourself. So don't beat yourself up. But the key component here, and the take home and the lesson that I want you to understand, is we need to access that masculine within us. We need that safety, we need that anchoring, we need that structure, we need the opposite energy to our predominant feminine, right? But by doing that, we can do little things like, for me in particular, being in Fuerteventura, I know that being around water, for example, is extremely feminine. So that I'm getting that energy from being in Fuerteventura. I've also had a massage today. So, of course, I know these are not things that we're going to do every day, but to tend to one's body as a female, to be soft and gentle in that way, that provides safety. But certainly being around water also provides this. So it's doing little things to inject that safety back into your own body to ground you. And that, in essence, is what a masculine energy does. So it's just to be aware of doing these simple things, providing safety for yourself while you're on your manifesting journey. Now, am I saying, and I just want to finish the video by saying this, am I saying, Jen, if I do this, am I resigning myself to being one of these strong females that never requires a masculine, a male within their life? Am I doing this and I see these strong women and I will categorically tell you, absolutely not. For me, I want to bring you back to your femininity and your safety, and I want you to manifest the masculine outside of yourself that you desire. But ladies, the key thing to take home here is you have to get to know yourself. You have to put the work into yourself to understand thy nature, right? Thy nature for me was that what I was taught from when I was young was that if I acted like a man, I don't know where these lessons came in, but they came in. If I acted like a man, that would provide safety. But it was almost like a bulldog saying, don't come near because I will bite you, right? And that was the way that I got safety. Now, somebody else in my environment, because I'm not going to name names, somewhere along the line as a female got the message that the more submissive you are, the more that you don't create waves, then you are provided with safety. Now, neither one is the right thing to do. And what I always talk to you about and what I want you to come back to is balance. Because that's exactly what we're going for, guys. We're going for balance within ourselves. So reach out to me if you don't understand this video about containment, being your own container first until that masculine, that beautiful masculine comes in and is able to provide that containment that you really, really would love within your life. But ask me any questions and I'll answer and we can go through it. But I'm really excited because this is a part of Jen that it wasn't even on the agenda, and now it's something else that I can look at within myself and really come to some positive conclusions about. So I love you, and I may see you for the last one tomorrow before I go home. But if not, I'll sending you lots of beautiful energy as always, and I will see you in the next one.